Thomas Grady leaned on his rusted shovel, sweat dripping from his brow as he stared out over the barren expanse of his farm. The cornfields once promised prosperity, endless rows of green stalks bending gently in the wind, rippling with the potential of a good harvest. But now they stood as hollow sentinels, their yellowed leaves curling inward as if recoiling from the cold, unforgiving air. The sky hung heavy with a blanket of gray clouds, a constant overcast that seemed to hold the town of Dreadmore in a vice grip. The smell of mildew clung to the air, seeping into the cracks of Thomas's wooden home. The wind, a hollow whistle through the desolate fields, did nothing to break the suffocating stillness. Thomas wiped his forehead with the back of his hand, the rough calluses of a man long used to manual labor scratching against his skin. He hadn't expected the farm to be easy. He never did. It was a way of escaping, a way to forget the wreckage his life had become. The memory of his wife's laugh, the soft echo of his daughter's footsteps running down the hallway, both gone, taken in a car accident 3 years ago. He hadn't been there to stop it. The silence was broken by the sound of crunching gravel. A truck rolled down the long, cracked dirt road leading to his property. Thomas squinted, seeing the familiar rusted frame of Caleb Marsh's pickup truck. Caleb was his only friend in town, an odd sort who had taken refuge in Dreadmore after his own tragedy. Caleb's eyes had seen things that no one should ever see, and he'd found solace in the quiet, the solitude. But it was only temporary. The truck came to a stop just outside Thomas's farm. Caleb got out, stumbling as though the weight of the world bore down on his shoulders. His breath was ragged, his eyes darting nervously over his shoulder, as if the very air was closing in on him. "Thomas, something's out there," Caleb's voice cracked, his words coming out in hurried whispers. "In the fields. I've seen it." Thomas's heart skipped a beat. He set down his shovel, wiping his hands on his jeans. "What are you talking about?" Caleb's eyes were wide, his face pale and gaunt, as if he hadn't slept in days. His gaze flicked over the cornfields. "I swear, man, I saw it. Something moved out there, something that shouldn't be." Thomas stared at him, bemused. "You've been drinking too much again, Caleb. Come on, let's get you inside." But Caleb shook his head, backing away, his hands raised in a defensive gesture. "I'm not crazy, Tom. It's real. It's out there. I'm not the only one who's seen it. People are vanishing. I heard the whispers. They're coming back." A chill ran down Thomas's spine. "Whispers? What are you talking about? You're just scared." "I'm telling you, Tom, the Reaper's coming back." The words hit like a thunderclap. The Hollow Reaper, an old local legend, a story that had been passed down like a curse, whispered only by the oldest and most superstitious of Dreadmore's residents. Thomas had heard the stories, but he never gave them credence. Not until now. Before he could respond, Caleb turned and stumbled back to his truck, speeding away, dust kicking up in his wake. Thomas stood there for a long moment, his mind spinning with questions, none of which made sense. The wind picked up again, rattling the dried corn stalks, and for a fleeting moment, Thomas could have sworn he heard a faint rustling in the field. It was nothing, he thought, but the chill in the air made him uneasy. Caleb's warning echoed in his mind. The Reaper's coming back.